Brian Cleary. And what's your official title?
I'm Assistant Manager of the Ballot Department.
Okay. What we're standing in now is what we refer to as the Halley Building Warehouse. At one time, the merchandise that went to the store downtown was stored here and was transported downtown as needed. You've already seen the entryway, seen the elevator. Obviously, this was not meant to accommodate what we're doing, but when we had to make the switch to paper opera in. By that time, there will be a large screen or a large television so you can watch the results and have access to maps and things like that. So it doesn't look like much yet, but we're still working on it, and we want everybody to be as comfortable as they can on a good night. This area is going to be so that reporters that want to do interviews or something can pull people aside and they can have a little bit of privacy, where they're not elbow to elbow with other cameramen or reporters, and they can kind of get away from the activity that I'm going to show you later. And this is kind of a little staging area. And the people here that do video and things, you'll be able to use that area too. It'll be first come, first served, but that's the idea. And also there'll be a cutaway in the windows so that the television stations can run their live truck cables up through the window. So it'll look different, but I'm sure you get the idea.
How many people do you expect will be here on election night?
Public, workers, or?
Total. Yeah, you mentioned the television and also where the media would be at, and they could talk to interview the candidates. Is it going to be 100,
There's
200?
more. My guess that media is probably only going to be about 20. But then, we don't know.
I was just thinking that it looked rather small.
There's another media space where we're going, and I'll be showing that to you in a minute. So this is just part of it. But as somebody that does media, I'm sure you understand that when you're in the hustle and bustle in the media area and you're tripping over people and cameramen, it'll be nice to have a place where you can go and maybe record where you have a little bit of privacy and kind of out of the hallway. Okay, and then on the right back.
You know where you see the orange tape?
Don't be throwing everything.
I'm sorry.
Any place you see the orange tape right now? This stuff?
Oh, okay.
You will have crowd barricades.
Oh, all right.
We'll be showing you
Crowd barricades.
Crowd barricades?
Like for us.
Games, concerts.
on election night. The trucks will come into the truck bay, which we're going to show you later. And it's a regular loading dock. And that's when the ballot bags and equipment will come in. They will be sorted. And then the actual ballots will come up in that elevator. And that's when the processing will begin. It'll be run like an assembly line. So all these areas here will have a different part of processing or storage. Brian, I don't have my answer, but exactly what's going to happen.
Once all the election supplies come in, down in the basement, we'll show you that later, the dock and such. We're going to segregate the most important parts that we need. The poll booths, large envelopes over here. You want to this elevator here. Large envelope comes to this table. They will disassemble. They will take out the poll books. By chance, any ballots that are in there, payroll card, all things we need to process the election. The poll books will have certificate number 1 at the front of them. We will pull that out. Those certificate number 1s will be transferred to this area, where our teams will begin counting the poll books in the case that the certificate number 1 is incomplete or not filled out. And we will do the justify all the ballots.
How many people total will be at the warehouse? I know that that's not known, but you know how many to process the election. 100?
It's close to 200.
200 people.
Yeah. On the first floor and the second.
First floor.
Also, tables against the corner where you see the bins, that is where the provisional ballots are going to be processed. They will come up in the ballot boxes, which we will show you in the next room. Once they discover that there's provisional ballots inside the ballot box, which as everyone knows is in the bright yellow envelope, those come over here, they'll be processed by the registration department. make sure that everything's filled out accurately, and that'll take place over the 20-day window between the unofficial and the official.
Right now, you have absentee ballots already returned.
Yes.
A number, I'm not sure what.
30-some thousand.
Where are those ballots?
Those right now are over at the Board of Elections.
And how will they get over there?
They will come over here by van
At what time?
Thursday nights, I believe. The first batch is going to come over. They will come over with sheriffs and DNR teams and up as it takes to get all the ballots. And then they will begin processing on Friday and Saturday for an early scan on Sunday.
Now, is the whole registration department coming over here?
Not all of them, but there'll be enough here to train who we need.
Is Mike? Well, Mike is no longer there, but
He will
Benny
probably,
Edwards.
yeah, they'll be here. One of their key components will be over here to ensure that this process is going.
And is this all set up with the registration database?
No, all they're going to be doing is sorting them by city,
Go ahead.
getting a total count,
Go ahead.
and then in the 20-day window between the unofficial and the official, they'll do the actual check. Now, if one is grossly comes in and it's completely blank, they can segregate that because that'll need a lot more investigation than one that's completely filled out.
So what's going to happen to questionable ballots?
Nothing during that night.
Okay, but then
Well,
after.
you're getting ahead of us.
Okay,
We'll show you where our solution table is.
You're talking about provisional.
provisional. How are they going to get back to the board to?
Same way. They will have a van with the sheriffs and DNR teams to transport them back to the registration department.
It's a lot of transporting of ballots.
Unfortunately, it's what we have to do for this new paper ballot era.
New paper ballots.
Love paper
2
ballots.
years ago, it was the new electronic lamp.
And where you see the orange tape again, it'll be blocked off, but we'll be. This is the way to the media area. So follow me.
We even have a. Oh no. Where's the women's room? No.
It's on the other side.
Uh-huh. Anastasia. Those are the scanners.
As you can see, we have a screen set up where we'll be projecting the results as they come in. We expect to have new results. Are we up to every 15 minutes? Is that it?
It's going to be around every half hour.
About every half hour. And you can see nothing fancy, but there'll be tables and chairs for media folk.
Phones? Are you getting phone lines in?
No phone lines, all cell phones. We didn't have enough time to run lines, so
Okay.
we have to make do. As you can see, if you're a cameraman, you get a shot. Over there will be our solutions area, so if there's any ballots where the intention is questionable, they'll be taken over to a solution area.
They're not going to. The Secretary of State has decided not to process any remakes on election night.
Okay.
All ballots in question put in envelopes and will be processed during the unofficial count.
Will we get a count of those on election night?
We will, yeah, because we have to justify at the end of the night the total ballots cast against the signatures in the poll book. That will be a category that you will have.
So who's going from the scanner to the solution area?
There won't be a solution area now.
Yeah, so this will be used for storage, yes?
Each scanner will have an envelope that any questionable, unscannable ballot will go into. It'll be clearly marked, remakes, resolution board, something of that nature. We haven't come up with the correct terminology yet. And they'll be put into that. At the end of the night, they'll be gathered up, stored in a bin.
How do the ballots get from over there?
I'm glad you asked, because let's go back to the connection. Once the ballots are removed from the bags and they come up on the freight elevator, then the ballots actually start to get processed here. And Brian can explain exactly how they're sorted. Each of these boxes, the numbers mean something. I think that's a precinct.
No. As the ballots come up, once we get to the basement, it'll make a little more sense.
I like it.
There's two different ways it goes. We have the big supply bags, the red and blue bags that I'm sure you've seen in other elections. That has all the election supplies in it. There'll also be a ballot box, which is a white box, about yay big, that will contain any ballot cast at the polling location. Those will go down, be processed one way in the basement. The supply bags will go the other. The ballot boxes will go to this large freight elevator, where we will have a sheriff on duty and a DNR team on it at all times. They will be brought up from the basement, where they will be, once it gets to this floor, any of these 51 tables here, if there's no ballots on them, you can take the box directly to them. If not, you see the sign against the wall, where the unprocessed ballot boxes will be stored. There'll be tables over there that will be set up on. These 51 tables will be each have a DNR team now. They will open the ballot box where you can see them. They will take the ballots out. The brown boxes you see on each table. If there's a curbside, if there's a 17-year-old ballot, a provisional ballot, or anything that they didn't expect to find in the ballot box, it will be put in the cardboard box. The election day ballots will then be, they have to be sorted. Sorted is kind of a bad word. They have to be oriented. Each ballot has the corner cut off it to make them easier to
Scan.
be processed through the scanner. So they have to be oriented the correct way, so they're all facing the right way. Once they are completed, they will, everything in this room flows this way. They will be placed back into the ballot box, placed at the end of the table, where runners will come get them, walk them down to the end there, where you see the sign against the window there, the process ballot box area. There's a set of tables back there that they will be placed on, and runners will take them from there to one of the 15 M650 high-speed scanners. If all 15 scanners are busy, they will place them on the middle of the tables. So the scanning teams can just grab them as they need.
Question, how many people will physically be in
There's
this?
51 tables, 2 DNRs in each table, so that's
102?
102 roughly.
Okay,
Plus
and then,
supervisors.
the reason I'm asking is it seems like with 100% people in your elevators, it's going to be very
It's
noisy.
going to be
Yes,
very
it's
nice.
going to be extremely noisy. That's one of the reasons why, for the media, we have that staging area back there, so that if they want to pull somebody aside and do an interview. However, some of the TV stations have said they will have enough cable to run it all the way to here if they want to do a live shot with the actual stuff going on in the background, the actual activity.
So what I'm wondering too, and I'm sorry to break in, but what is going to be the barrier between the observer and media section here?
We'll have the crowd.
And you have bike
Now, for
racks?
observers, we have a special section for them,
We'll show you that in a second.
and we'll show you that.
Okay, so the media will basically be seeing either people's faces running the scanners or their backs. Is that correct?
I have to ask this question. I've worked in one of your houses. Do you have an evacuation plan?
Yes. There are evacuation plans, fire extinguishers, all that, but there's a backup generator in the basement in case for some reason the power goes out. We install the generators, so all those, hopefully all those instances have been accounted for, but I'm sure you know how it goes. It's the election for
And following the path of the ballot, there's our servers.
Pardon our mess, we're still in the process of that.
And you can see we have the old
The computers go back
TSX
there.
machines back there because for the physically challenged voters, as you know, there'll still be a electronic touch screen in each precinct, and so those will be tallied. And then the tallied ballots will go into the vault. You can see that that's a locked door. We also have a safe there. I'm sure I left out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Once the ballots are scanned, they will go to either the outsides, be placed back in the ballot boxes, go to either the outside tables. Runners will then take them from there into the tabulation room. We have a sign-in sheet in the tabulation room. As you can see, the racks against the back windows there. Those double locked doors right there. That entire room is also racked. These racks that we have against the wall. The ballot box will be taken by Democrat Republicans into there and stored.
And that means to say how many? I heard
1,900 boxes.
How many?
1,900 boxes will be in there.
Okay.
I saw 900,000 going out to the, supposedly,
Yes.
ballots going
Yes.
out. Right?
Ballots going out, we order enough ballots for 101% of that precinct to vote. Obviously, it's overkill, but we don't ever want to run out of ballots. What we expect back, this is the average turnout, 40. You can guess.
Actually, you're going to get more.
I mean, voted ballots, it could range anywhere from 32% to 40%. Right around here is the presidential.
Brian, you know I've seen this,
Yep.
before. And what still really worries me is, I'll name them now. These get a zip disk.
Yes.
Okay. It's like a big floppy disk
Correct.
for people who, okay. And so zip disks are I mean, they are really, they can be loosely labeled. Those have to be tracked.
They are. There's a.
I don't know the tracking.
Let me get the elections, the uploading. Throughout the night, we're going to start shutting down 3 of these machines at a time. The reason we're doing that is so we can report every half hour and update the current election results on each screen. These machines will be not shut down, they'll just be stopped scanning. A zip disk will be inserted by a Democrat and Republican team into each of these, the 3 machines that are shut down. That elections data will be saved to that zip disk. Once that's complete, that takes about 15 to 18 minutes to save all the data. So that's complete. That Democrat and Republican team will then take that to our Unity server, where those results will be uploaded into the Unity server. If for some reason that zip disk is, something goes wrong
Corrupted, yeah.
the information is still retained on each of the 650s. So that information is not lost. That zip disk will then be stored, taken out of the mix. A new zip disk will be taken, formatted, brought it, those results will be tried again.
Okay, but where I am concerned as an observer, what I want to see are the following. When that zip disk is put in, and let's not even assume corruption right now, corruption of the disk. I want to see the zip disk. I want to be able to see the label. I want to be able to see the label walking through to that server. I want to be able to see that server at all times. I mean, I want to know that the disk that's coming out of there is the same disk that's going in there, and then I'm really concerned about the process from the workstation to the server.
This chain of custody form is going to follow every zip disk. It will have the machine number. It will have the serial number of the zip disk. And let's see what else there. And the total number of ballots scanned onto it. Each of these machines gives you a total. That number will be written on here. Once that is uploaded to the server, you'll be able to track the number of ballots should increase by the number you just uploaded on each of these.
How will the observers be able to see those?
You won't be able to see this.
That's hard.
How many zip disks will there be total for the election?
We ordered a couple hundred. We don't know how long the scanning is going to take place. We're going to do it every half hour and keep cycling through until every ballot is scanned.
Do you understand what he's saying? It's like these 3 machines will stop scanning, download the data, they'll resume scanning, go to the next 3 machines, do the same thing.
Once those zip disks are uploaded, they will be taken and stored and locked in our safe. They will not be reused in the election. Brand new ones will be taken. Brand new ones will be used every time you do.
Okay, that's every 30 minutes.
Yes.
There's 15 of them. You're
Right.
going to start that process at such a time and
Yeah.
end it as such. And you've done the calculations that says 200 zip disks are more than enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm concerned about all these boxes. Am I to understand that these boxes remain open while they're being carted around here?
Yes.
Is that a good idea?
There's no other way to move them.
Seal them up.
The boxes actually have a tuck-in. I don't know if you've seen the ballot box, but I don't have one handy. It's not an open box like you see here.
Oh, I thought you said it was. Okay.
It has a fold-over top that locks back in.
See, those aren't the ballot boxes.
Those are just where they're going to store any anomalies they find inside the ballot box. Provisional ballots, 17-year-old ballots.
And
Sandwich wrapper.
We'll be seeing, when we go downstairs, we'll be seeing a ballot box.
Yeah, we'll show you that and maybe you can get a better understanding.
I'd like to see those ballot boxes sealed somewhere so people carting them.
You will. You will. They're sealed with seal tape.
No, he's talking about these
Once
boxes
they're processed to be sealed.
Yeah.
moving around here. Can you guys get numbers on these machines?
There's numbers on every machine.
Can you make them visible to the people
yeah,
who
we
are
can put them on
watching?
the back.
Pardon me?
We can put them on the back.
Adele,
You won't put
following the tour, I assume you're going to write up your concerns so that we can,
I will.
because I know you can write them up better than I can take notes.
I will.
Okay.
And I'll just mention to you that one of my concerns is the lack of clarity about what's printing there, whether or not it's going to be printing on election night.
It is.
If not, when it...
This is going to be printing election. This is an audit log. All this shows you.
It'll keep forever.
forever.
It's basically an audit log. It tells you, here the operator started the scanning. Here you had an error message come, the machine stopped. There were multiple ballots in the read head, which means it pulled more than one ballot through at a time. All this does is break down every time the start button's hit, or any other, it doesn't actually give you a total of any ballots cast in that. And here is where they're saving the information to it. It tells you saved 5 ballots. It doesn't give you a breakdown of what those ballots were. That is, all this is an audit log so you can track, in case anything should go wrong, you can try to trace it back to the exact moment it happened.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the integrity of the paper ballot. I want to see that secured from the time it gets counted to the time it puts in storage where it's sealed, locked, signed off, and I don't care about what's going on computer-wise.
Oh, I do too. I agree with you, and
I have to say this again. I know it's all. Have you tested putting 102, 120 people in this room turning on these machines
Yes, I have.
and having the printers run, and you can hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Relatively.
Okay.
I mean, it's noisy, don't get me wrong. It's noisy, but it's, you can hear.
if we come in, is there any kind of health? I mean, are you guys wearing earplugs or anything?
Some people are wearing it, yeah. There will be earplugs made available.
Now, you started taking us around up here. How come you didn't take... Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We're in as long as, because the waiting area is up here. That's why we started.
That's kind of how it worked out.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, for future,
Yeah.
it might be logical to start with a
cold
balance.
enough, too.
All right, let's move on and we'll show you where the observer is.
Oh, it's on the other side of that pillar. No, I'm joking. You might.
And there'll be refreshments for everybody that eats.
I'm sorry.
As long as they bring their own, there'll be plenty.
Tonight, the scaffolding will be gone, but this area here is going to be for our designated observers, which was some of the folks here.
Holy crumb! We're not allowed through this area because this is ballot handling.
Right.
How close can we get?
About this close.
That's not good enough.
Close to where?
To the scanners and to the.
I know we're not
Line is
being
about
fair
here.
with you.
I'm just showing you guys around. You're welcome to
Wow,
register
and the
any...
servers are all the way over there.
Yes,
And that's where the actual numbers are going to be made. And that's the most critical part. It's not even the scanners. It's the servers that I'm concerned about. How can we get to see the servers?
I don't know. Let me ask. Maybe we could arrange so that we can have...
Why can't we go?
Steps.
Can we go in the media? We can go in the media area. A media person can go in the media area.
But not an observer person.
Well, most of you guys are both, right?
No,
Question.
I am.
You mentioned the area downstairs. Is that where the single sole access point for anybody who is non-Board of Election employee? So, that's the door.
The only other door in is going to be with trucks with ballots.
Now,
In the loading.
you brought us up in an elevator in this flow of people. Do you expect 20 at a time? Is the only way up the elevator?
Yes, Now you can get down through the stairs because of fire concerns. There's a push bar so that you could go down the stairs, but you can't come up. Okay, now we can proceed to the first floor and you can see where the ballots will be coming in.
Can we get closer to the servers on the tour?
The paper ballot. You keep talking about that.
No. Hey, Mike, can we get a little bit closer? Can we get a little... And the boxes will be done.
Yeah, they will. The movers are coming Monday. Those are only out here because of the racks being... Right now they're putting that's a room storage. They're putting all these racks inside there so we can throw all the ballot boxes.
I just want to show the people have arrived. Thanks, Tyrone.
You're welcome.
You invading?
Come on through. You're going to go that way? Did they close the door? Yeah, they closed the slide door. Let's go this way then.
Oh, miss. I'm sorry, I don't know. Is it your reporter or something?
I am a citizen activist, to tell you the truth, and I also am a reporter. I report the Free Press in Columbus. It's not the Detroit Free Press, but it's an alternative weekly that comes out in Columbus. But I've been watching the Board of Elections for 4 years, since 2004, and this really makes me nervous, to tell you the truth. How are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm good. I loved your pictures.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that voting booth. Smells like gas.
Okay. That far garage door, red door, that is the one that will be open election night. The vans will pull up with the ballots and supply bags on them. There will be various carts down there in the area. Democrat and Republican teams will place supply bags and ballot boxes onto the carts. They will be wheeled up this ramp. At the top of the ramp, there will be, they will go one of two ways. The supply bags will go
I'm sorry,
through,
what was that?
they will go one of two ways.
Okay.
The supply bag carts will go through this door here, which will not be closed, and in there to be processed. The ballots will go that way. Between each of these columns, you will have a set of tables with wand scanners where each ballot box and each supply bag will be scanned in to make sure that we have all of them. The ballot boxes will then go on the freight elevator to be processed upstairs with a Democrat and Republican team and the sheriff's officer on the elevator. The precinct supply bags will go into the first floor of the warehouse there, where they will be disassembled to make sure that there's no ballots hiding inside. They're going to pull out the large envelope and send that up to the second floor via the secondary elevator, so it can be processed so the poll book and such can be taken out. The rest of the supplies will be put onto racks. When we go back in there, I'll show you the racks that they're going to be put onto, just so we can account for all the supplies that we send on election.
You're going to separate the contents from the bag.
Once it's in there, yes.
I assume that the bags in some way are uniquely identifiable.
Yes, everyone has a precinct.
As the contents are.
Yes.
How would I put the contents back into a given bag once they've been separated if I needed to do that?
Let me think why you would want to do that first. Secondary, well, everything is unique to that bag. It all has a label on it. It's easily put back in that bag.
Okay. Now, when the polls close at 7:30,
Yep.
the people out of the polls are going to be doing some processing,
Correct.
which you anticipate about a half hour?
Yeah, half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. Now, there's 576 voting
Correct.
locations,
That's correct.
and there's how many vans?
80 cargo bags.
80 cargo vans, and they will be dispatched from,
The zone locations, I believe.
okay, from the zone
Yeah,
locations.
from the zone locations.
So what is your rate of arrival?
If it's based on the other elections, about 8:30 we'll be getting the first supplies.
Okay, now, so hypothetically, there's going to be trucks backed up out there, the vans backed up.
Those streets will be out. There are going to have various spots. The one caddy corner from the warehouse is going through. There's going to be one slightly down the street there, where we're going to have shuttle buses bringing people back and forth. I'm not thinking sure the exact
Question, how do we know what's the lot?
Community outreach may have that stuff on their tables.
What would help is some flags out front of this building when I went by before.
I'm sure they'll have those elections. I can't say for sure, but I hate to.
I understand Jane said she put a parking map on the web. They're going to do a MapQuest thing. What I'm concerned about, when I just saw this car drive out of this dock, there is something underneath us.
There's a parking garage.
And is that where employees are parking?
Board of Elections employees will be parking out of there.
So that the vans are coming in the flat place,
Yes,
but there's also places to go underneath it.
yes. There's 3 separate driveways there.
3 separate driveways.
Yes.
Well, okay, concern. But then are you having, is there a process that you guys have set out for the vans to pull up and be unloaded?
Yeah, there's
A whole line
yes.
plan?
Yeah, there's a whole line plan how they're going to be pulled up, be disassembled, everything's going to go on the carts.
And there's going to be a policeman down
Yes,
at the
there'll be
next,
sheriff's out there,
at the next intersection
They will,
directing?
yeah, they will be only letting in those vans both ways, whichever.
So we can't get onto 40th that night?
During rush hour,
between-
you can.
Between Perkins and
Correct.
the next, we can't get onto this block, going either way? Aha.
They're going to let it, they're having 40th open for rush hour, and then after rush hour, it'll be shut down. And you're going to have all the media, they're going to be parking their trucks all up and down Perkins.
Okay, and, yeah, but, so there's how many layers of parking garage
One.
on? Approximately how many cars parked down there?
30?
When I come here on election evening, I came up Chester. So I still turn left onto 40th.
Head north.
I head north on 40th.
Yeah.
It's going to be open.
Yeah.
There's a parking lot across the street.
Caddy corner across the street. That's the one I know for sure of, and I know there's another one, but I'm not sure of this exact location. I believe Community Outreach has maps up on their table up there.
Okay.
These parking lots, are they public parking lots?
Yeah.
Are they charging you?
No. And they'll have shuttles, anything that's more than across the street, bringing people to and from.
So there, and then up.
There's another one, I'm not sure of the exact location, so hopefully Community Outreach has something.
So then we walk over here.
Well, you'll be shuttled here.
Okay, if we come from there, here we'll walk.
Or here you'll just walk across the street.
Walk in the door.
Yeah, you'll have to sign in, there'll be a guard there, you see the metal detectors being installed, all that good stuff.
So
And there'll be a escort, Community Outreach will be down there and they'll escort you to where you need to be.
all the employees, for instance, Ray and I are both observers, and so, which you know, and so, like if we come for the opening of the absentee ballots, I would assume that there are going to be around 100,
That'd be it.
about 130 workers,
Correct, that sounds about right.
okay? And so they are going to be parking over at that lot that you know?
Yeah,
that
there's like 500 spaces at the one lot.
Okay. Okay,
It's not a small lot.
okay. Not like the board.
Not like the board, no.
It's not like the small lot or
No,
$4
it's not like the
for
small lot at
you.
the board.
Yeah,
This,
okay.
the timing of the opening of the absentees will occur.
The absentees are going to be open Friday. Everything received up until Thursday at midnight will be open Friday and Saturday, scanned Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, scan.
And scanned on Sunday.
We'll see you Sunday if you're not going to
So
church.
if I wanted to come and see the scanning of the absentee ballots, what time would I have to get here?
You'll get a notice. What time?
8:30 when we started scanning. I don't know how you go about getting
8:30
a.m.
in the morning?
Yes.
Oh, that's, I can handle 8:30. So we park in that lot if we come down here on Sunday, as opposed to parking in front.
Yeah, this won't be, well, if you can find a spot out front, you can park there.
Oh, okay. You
But
park
yeah,
on Sunday, you can
this,
park out
this will all be open Sundays.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, but
park
we
where you
will,
want.
we'll be able to come and watch them open the ballots too. I'll
Is
explain that
anybody
too.
going to be here to ensure the integrity of the ballots going through this place?
There'll be sheriff's officers and fire protection services in this process.
Besides
And-
the sheriff's office and protective services.
Who else would, Democrat or Republican?
But where?
Conservatives won't be here.
I'm sorry, please finish. I don't want to interrupt.
Well, I was concerned about this ballot again. And I see too many,
Well,
I don't know what to say, too many opportunities to drop a box, those are the
The
cardboard
ballot
boxes.
boxes are all going to be sealed until they get up on the second floor.
Is
They're not
that the
sealed.
box you're talking about?
These are ballot boxes, yeah, they're not assembled right now.
are the boxes tracked as according to the truck numbers and names?
That I don't know.
Do you have any examples of what the seals look like?
They are just a blue tamper tape seal. They have a serial number on them you can scan. We might have some in there that I can show you.
That'd be great.
We were told at one of the meetings at the Board of Elections that there's going to be an area that is going to be guarded with a camera with regards to a safe that has the
That was up on the second one.
correct
Yeah.
has the zip disk in it from the scan of the absentees.
At the end of the night Sunday, that same Democrat and Republican team will gather up 15 zip disks. Actually, it'll be 30. We're doing backups. And they will take them over to the safe, lock them in the safe, and they will stay there until 7:30 election.
At which time they'll be taken to the servers.
By the same Democrat and Republican team over to the server.
And is that same Democrat and Republican going to be signing off on that chain of
There'll
custody
be chain of
form?
custody forms to and from the safe back to
The
safe.
time
Everything.
and the person.
Time, personnel, serial numbers.
When do you, when do you think the last ballot will be scanned on election evening?
It's going to roughly take 6 to 10 hours, depending on how the arrival of the materials.
And the backup does take time.
The backup saving to the disk takes 15 to 18 minutes. We say 20, it's just a nice roundup.
Is the parking lot that we would be walking to, is it guarded?
I believe they will have protective services there at all time hours of the night.
So we shouldn't be concerned.
And we will have guards there that can walk people to and from their cars.
Who's protective services?
Protective services are county hired deputies, I don't know what you want to call them.
Sheriff?
No, they're like a protective, they're just like a private
Company.
They're private company.
Security.
They're security force. Yeah, something like that. But they're actually employed by the county. And all the county buildings they protect. We have one. They're in this building 24/7. They're over at the main building 24/7, guarding all the
Now these Republican, Democrat
teams.
pair of teams,
Each one of them is background checked by our Human Resources Department.
Now, there is going to be an ES&S person at each one
Each
of
scanner.
the scanners.
There will be one ES&S employee actually running the scanners. We will have a Democrat and Republican Board of Elections employee on either side of them processing the in and the out of the ballots. There will be 2 ES&S employees at the Unity server, accompanied by a Democrat and Republican from the management team.
Who's actually touching the server? Who's actually who's actually running the server?
The ES&S people are going to be running the server with Tyrone and Julie right there with them at all times. Nothing will be done without our team being.
Okay, and who's going to be running the GEM server?
I will be running the GEM server.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. I think I have it on the
There
other
will be no
phone.
ES&S employees anywhere near the GEM server. That will be me and the ballot staff, 4 members of the ballot staff.
Have
wow.
you performed sort of a
Election
mock
simulation?
simulation? Yeah.
And they're going to do that on February
We're gonna
29th.
do it.
What time?
The 29th, the only thing I know on that day is the public test, which is our normal standard test that we do.
Okay. What
4
time?
o'clock is the public test. I don't know. when our
Okay.
next walkthrough is.
And I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Brian.
I said I don't know when our next walkthrough is scheduled.
Oh,
Sometime this week.
there's another test that's going to go
It's
on?
going to be like election simulation
Okay.
that we're going to do.
Is
Not
that-
all the temporary employees were in place for yesterday's,
Okay.
so we want to make sure everyone's in place and everyone gets a good chance to know their assignment.
So there's going to be a public, something the public or the media?
I don't know if the
can
public
come
will be invited to that.
Okay.
I don't make those decisions.
Okay.
There will be a public test of all the scanning equipment
Mm-hmm.
On the 29th.
on the 29th at 4 o'clock
to? Okay.
here, second floor.
All right.
I know this question's been asked. I don't even expect an answer. The ballots are transported from the polling location to this location.
Yeah.
If something happens to those ballots in transit, then that particular polling location is,
We'll have no totals.
well, I'm saying,
Yeah.
There's no.
I watch a lot of movies.
It's the worst case scenario. I don't know how to. If the ballots are destroyed, we have no way of magically recreating. I don't
Other
know.
than letting that polling location
Correct.
revote.
Yeah, revote. is what
Well,
we're
wait.
talking
I know who I want to vote for. I'll recreate them for
about.
you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm joking. That was a
So
joke.
that's really the single point of failure. in
Yeah,
this.
that's the
There are
worst case
others,
scenario
I
that could
think.
possibly happen.
But-
We have to reopen the polling location and ask everyone from that polling location to come back down and vote.
What is that thing? That big wooden thing?
That used to be a sliding door.
Oh, 2?
I have no idea. One or
Is-
the other.
does
It is
some-
locked right now. Only the landlord has the keys. There are 2 other tenants in this building, so I don't know.
Who else is lucky enough to be here?
Some paper storage company, something Mountain, and then one of the other
Iron
county
Mountain.
facilities uses one of the floors as storage.
Yeah. And are you doing something about the air quality in those office spaces for those people?
We've been asking, I don't know what's going to happen with
It's
that.
awful.
At 7:30, we will be the only agency in this building.
Okay.
So we'll go around, back around, and we'll
too.
take a look into the, I can show you the supply bags
Okay.
and such.
Right.
Well, we had a
Can you imagine that there are cars down there and the ballots are coming in here? And they could just throw boxes down and drive away with them. Can you imagine that?
We had a saying in the military. It was when you don't have meat, you eat soup. So,
No. Right, this is, nobody thought about
don't
this.
you make yourself
No.
overly concerned about it.
Oh, I won't. No. What's done is done.
Now we'll listen in here. So Brian, tell us about what we're looking at. Here's the ballot box.
These are your ballot boxes. They will be sealed at the polling location over the slot where the ballots go in, and here. And then here, with a tamper tape. I don't know if we have any tamper tape here. I'll see if I can find some.
Oh, no, I can.
Do you have some, Mike? If there is a problem with something is wrong with the seal and it's discovered in transit, these boxes will be segregated, that polling location will be locked down, and we'll have to investigate.
I guess what some of the concerns is that what we see in other places is that how easy it is to just pull the seal off and re-put it back on. Has that been tested here?
The seals, once you peel them, they are blue. Once you peel them, they get a white void on it.
Beautiful.
So that's why we call them tamper tape. So you can't just replace the same seal on it. This is what they look like.
Wonderful.
They have a serial number on it. We scan each one of them. They're recorded in a security log at the polling location once the poll worker puts them on. Those security logs are brought back in the supply bag. This is what we call a precinct-specific supply bag. So you can see in these windows here, they will have it'll say the precinct, county ward, city ward precinct, and you also have the polling location on it, and then you'll have a barcode, so each can be scanned. They are sealed with these little red, yellow, or blue tags, and each one of these has a barcode on the inside. 2 locations. If any of those are tampered with, again, we will investigate. We'll segregate those election supplies, and then we will go try to investigate the matter. Once these red and blue bags are brought in here, there will be tables in this area where they will begin being disassembled. And by disassembly is all the supplies will be taken out of them. We will ensure there's no ballots stuffed at the bottom. We still are using our memory cards for the elections for the ADA voters. Those like to hide in the bottom of the bag for some reason. Anything that we think will be significant and that we will need on the second floor as part of our election justification for the night, or any ballots that we need to scan as part of the election, will be looked for and found in these supply bags. Once they are gone through thoroughly, they will be placed on these racks. And each of these racks, even though these don't match right now, because we are just in the process of doing it, as you can see, they each have a city ward precinct on them. They will be matched up with that. And we have enough racks for all 1,436 supply bags.
These boxes don't look too good. How come it looks like
Well, the good news is they'll always be under the watchful eye of someone.
Yeah, I mean, they're just cardboard. If you want it in, you're going to get in. But they will always be under the watchful eye of a Democrat and a Republican.
Question.
Answer.
After the ballots are counted, then they are
Please back the box.
then the box goes, and then the box goes.
It never comes out of the storage room.
Pardon?
It would never come out of the storage room.
You have, how long do you have to, by law?
22 months for this federal law.
So, when you say it won't come out of the storage room, you're saying it won't come out of the storage room until the next election?
For 22 months.
If, once the 81 days, let me go back. After certification, there's 81 days with which you can amend those certified results.
Right.
If we should find a ballot, somehow it's found and we can prove that it's an actual ballot for the election, the results will be amended. That ballot will then be placed with its counterparts in its right precinct box. Once those 81 days are up where you cannot amend the results anymore, these boxes will then be moved to a secure location, whether it's our secure location over there. If you see behind the fence there, we still have ballots there. We also own or rent about 5 or 6 warehouses throughout the city where these will be stored for 22 months. And they're all under guard, camera.
And then what happens to them after that?
After 22 months, they're destroyed.
After you check with the Ohio Historical Society per the law.
Yes.
Is there a retention schedule and that the board, has there been a policy set for destruction of records?
That I can't answer.
You don't know?
I don't know. That's not mine.
Are you going to reprint these so that they're spelled correctly? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, please don't. Jokes like that we do not find as funny as we do.
Brian, you are really good.
Does anyone have any other questions about any of the...
Are we going over there to the TSXs at all?
There are no, those TSXs are just ones we tested. They are not being used in this election.
Okay.
Every TSX being used in this election is already at its point.
They're already...
They are en route.
The
The
TSXs
are en route. They are at the movers.
Okay, and the memory cards
Are locked in behind a double locked door.
What are the black books over there? Are those the black binders?
Those are the precinct binders. As you can see, not all of these have gone out to their polling locations yet.
Right.
So once these are complete, they will go out to the polling location. I personally don't. That is not my house. I'm the Gorman are in charge of getting all this repairs and everything done to this building. So yeah, that's all been checked, tested.
Sealing those boxes as you described, my opinion is it's ineffective. I want to see those boxes taped, all this stuff so nothing can fall out of there.
This guy's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, we would inquire as to why the ballot was folded up once it gets in there. All election day ballots are going to be flat. There's no reason to fold.
Except for 17-year-old, because your
No, they're
envelopes...
going to be in an envelope.
Your envelopes are too
Yeah,
small
but
for
they
the
will
ballot.
be in a 17-year-old
Oh,
ballot. So
yeah,
why
yeah.
would we would investigate as to why that ballot's folded.
Got it. Got it. Brian, you are so good.
I wish I could alleviate your fears further, sir. I don't know what else we can do other than the short time we had to do it. This is what we have.
We're lucky to have had you for our tour. This man,
What you're
he's
afraid
really-
of is if they get wet or something like that,
Wet,
it'll just kind of fall
They have a
apart.
coating on the inside
Okay.
that makes them waterproof up to a certain amount of time. I can't give you that exact time. I didn't order the boxes.
Uh-huh.
So hopefully, unless they're submerged for a significant amount of time, if they are just dropped into the snow, those ballots are not going to be damaged. Unless they are left in the snow for an hour or so. Obviously, it's going to eat through the box. It's just cardboard. But it does have a...
or a way to slip ballots in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that ends the tour.
How do we get out? Do you need to walk us out?
Yeah, I will walk you back up to the first floor.
Yeah, well,
second floor.
I gotta get my tripod.
Yeah, that's fine. We can all go back up to the waiting area. We're going to stay with you? Yes.
I'm going to stick around with Ray for a second.
But, it takes almost a year.
Did you
That is
happen to
30.
watch the broadcast
I don't know where they're going to have you guys
Jeff put
parked.
together case list guy?
Okay.
Gotta watch it.
That's just
I know
down
we
the
were
street
there.
on...
It's not the same.
30.
It's spellbinding.
Just past Channel 5.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not concerned about speaking
Thank you.
or
Thank
saying
you. I
or
hope you enjoyed it.
remembering anything. You're just there listening to what the professor was saying.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, anytime.
I